Hello and welcome to CloudFolks HUB. My name is Bhavesh Atara, and as you know that our Lambda series is going on. Today in this video we are going to talk about Lambda's most important feature known as layers. How layers works and how we can utilize this functionality. We are going to discuss everything related to AWS Lambda layers in this video, so let's start. Now, before I'm going to start this, I want you to just understand this terminology module and library as a prerequisite. You know, if you have coding background, you are aware about programming languages, definitely you have clear understanding about modules and libraries. But if you don't have this background or if you don't have knowledge of modules and library, understand this first and then we will go for the Lambda layers, because if you don't know about this one, it would be problematic for you to understand layers. Okay, so let's understand modules and library. Let's start with the definition. A module or library is a collection of code that we can import and reuse in our programs or Lambda functions, so we don't have to write the code again and again. You know, it is kind of code reusability. If you want to use same code again and again, you can convert this code into the module and then you can use it. There are many modules available, like there are thousands of modules available that you can add directly in your program and you can use this. Now here I use this two terminology, so let's understand the quick differences between them. A module is usually single file with reusable code, and libraries is a collection of modules. Now, for languages like Python, there are millions of libraries available that you can directly import in your program and you can use it. Using libraries and module is actually smart work because you do not need to write code which is readily available. Here I want to give you an example of the very well-known famous library known as Boto3. Now, Boto3 is actually Python library developed by AWS itself that you can use in your program, and from your Python program or Python function, you can directly interact with AWS environment. Now, whenever you are going to use this kind of readily available code, we call it like library or module, you have to import this. Right. So if you look at this, here I have one code which is going to copy file from our S3 bucket. Now here I am using this import Boto3. Why we need to write this? Because this is how you can inform Lambda or a Python program that we need to use this Boto3 library here. So you have to write this import Boto3. If you are not going to write this, Python or Lambda function cannot able to understand that what is this code you have, right? Now, important note. In AWS Lambda, you must import the library in your function to use it. Some libraries like Boto3 are built-in and available by default. But if library is not built-in, like request, panda, etc., you must either package it with your function and provide it with the Lambda. Now see, we have to import this library because the code must be in your system in order to run them, right? So you have to write import over here and this code must be installed in your local computer or maybe in the Lambda as well. Some are predefined, which is readily available, but some codes are not predefined. Now let's understand the whole process, but I hope after this you got complete understanding about modules and library, right? Modules and library actually saving our time. We have standard code written. We are just going to use this in our Lambda function or program, right? Now, let's understand the definition of Lambda layer. Lambda layer is a feature in AWS Lambda that allows you to store and manage common code, modules or library separately from your main function code. If you are going to use any libraries, you have to add this library, or we can say that install this library, right? But using Lambda layers, you can make them separate. And making them separate is good choice because once you add this library, you can use with multiple functions. You can attach a layers to one or more Lambda functions to reuse the common logic without repeating in every function. This helps keep your function lightweight, cleaner and easier to maintain. Now see these three lines, not easy to understand for non-programming background. If you have programming background, you can easily understand this. I completely agree with this. So what I'm doing, I'm going to give you very easy example. So even if you don't have programming background, you can able to understand. So let's start with a built-in library. Means libraries which is readily available in Lambda, right? So here, step 1, you write the code. You write the small Python function that generates the random number between 1 to 10 using library or a module called random. So here, see the first line, import random. Then I'm just going to use this function. Now this function is going to provide us a random number between 1 to 10. Now if you want to use this particular function or a library, you have to find out that, okay, this library is actually available as a standard library in Lambda or not. If it is, you don't need to worry. If it is not, you have to go with some process. Let's understand. This is your complete Lambda function. Now, you deploy the function in AWS Lambda. You paste this code in the AWS Lambda console and click deploy. No need to install or upload anything extra. Why? Because import random is readily available. You click test and execute your function. Since random is a part of Python's built-in standard library, it is already available in the Lambda's environment. This random library is already part of standard Python library, so you don't need to import this. You don't need to worry about anything related to this particular library. Lambda will manage this automatically. Lambda execute it. Lambda import the random module from the built-in library. It called randit 1 to 10, which generates the random number. No errors, no layers, no packaging is needed. Everything is like very normal process. But, you know, there are like millions of modules and library. Now, we cannot add everything as a standard library because everybody needs to use different libraries. Let's say that if I'm actually building application related to AI and ML, now in this case, I have to import all the libraries which is supported by AI and MLs. If I'm going to develop some application which is used to manage my AWS environment, now AI ML library is not my choice. My choice will be Boto 3 library. Right? So in this case, if they are going to add each and every library as a standard, it would be problematic. So in the standard, we have some libraries, but some libraries are not available as a standard library. Now in this case, how we can manage them? That is what I'm actually explaining you. So I already explained you about built-in, means your library is a part of standard library. No need to worry. But what if I have library which is not part of standard library? So library using layers. Now here you write the Lambda function. Again, you are writing the basic Lambda function that sends a confirmation message. Now here the library that I am using is actually emoji. Look at this. In my code I have import emoji written. Now because of this, what will happen? You will get, like you can send message, your bill is ready with this kind of emoji. If you look at the output, you will notice that we have added an emoji at the end of the message. To do this, we are using very famous Python library called emoji that help us to display emoji using simple text code like check mark button. See here I just wrote this check mark button and I got the emoji of this check mark button because of this library called emoji. But here the important part, even though this library is well known, it is not built into AWS Lambda by default. Like random library, It is already there. It is a built-in library, so we use this directly. But if you want to use this emoji library, it is not a part of built-in, right? So you try to run this code in Lambda without adding emoji library, it will fail. Now if you copy and paste this code directly into the Lambda, you will get this kind of error because this library is not available in the Lambda. So you have to install this library into the Lambda first, and then you can use this. Otherwise you are going to get this module not found error, right? Now how to solve this problem? Now if you want to solve this problem, we have two ways. We are not going to use layers. We are not using smart way. The first one, package the library with your function code, and the second way is go with the smart way, understand the technology and use them. That is what we call it Lambda layer. Now we are going to discuss about both of this, so your Lambda layers concept will be very clear. So let's understand solution. Solution number one.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you guys are enjoying our video a lot because our final ultimate goal is Solution Architect Certification Exam. To reach the destination, we required full videos. To create our success story, here we have a 3 path. You can choose any of them. Path number 1, our 6-in-1 program. Our 6-in-1 program include all prerequisite skills which is needed as a cloud engineer. It include 24/7 support, lifetime update, section-wise practice test, full course practice test with tips and tricks by Bhavesh Atara, how to do exam preparation course, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Atara, and 6 AWS project with documents. Path number 2, you can enroll by paying $499 and get Hindi and English, both the languages, videos of AWS. Path number 3, which is the last one, you can join our YouTube Elite membership. The choice is yours how to create your success story by choosing best one. Best of luck. Thank you.